My name is Holly and I make mushroom art. I'm with the brand Susrooms, and today I'm going to be talking about all of the different paintings I have created this whole year. Every month for a whole year, that's 12 paintings. I'm going to be talking about what my inspiration was for each of these paintings, and I'm going to be explaining how I found the time in my busy schedule because I have a full-time job, I'm in school, I go to the gym, and obviously I love to create content for y'all. Out of all of that, how did I find the time to make these paintings? And I'm also going to be sharing what the hardest part was in this whole process. Let's get into it. So I kind of want to get into a little bit of my inspiration for every month. So how did I become inspired? Did I have a vision in mind? And the answer to that is sometimes I would have ideas in my head for the next month, and I kind of knew exactly what I wanted it to look like. A lot of those times though, it kind of changed. I either added something that I liked more, or I took away the things that I thought wouldn't look as well. It was just kind of a process. It was really fun to kind of let the process happen, let the painting speak for itself, and to take what I had in my mind and just sort of go with it until it becomes a better version of itself. Another point I wanted to go over is how I found the time to create each of these pieces. I'm employed, I'm in school, I pick up shifts a lot. I have a lot on my plate. So how did I find the time? The answer is I was super aware of the month. I had this goal that I wanted to complete it by the very end of the month, like on that last day. Deadline was really just in my head. Like nobody's telling me to do it. There's no grade, right? I kind of laid it out. The first 2 weeks were when I sketched the canvas and whenever I did like the base layers. Last 2 weeks of the month were primarily for all the details. Mostly just set aside like those goals for the weeks, like sketch, base layer, details. And that seemed to work for me. Now there was one month I did get kind of tripped up on and I didn't want to finish it, so it was actually my Ombrè girl piece. She kind of sat in my closet for like an extra month. I did finish her, but it was like a month later. But that was the only piece that I didn't finish just because it was more so of a study than it was I was excited about like her, like making her come to life. But yeah, I would say that's how I kind of made it happen, is setting up those different steps. I'm going to talk about the hardest part of this goal. So for me, the hardest part was painting time of day. I'm a kind of person that whenever I'm painting, I like it to be natural light so that I know what I'm painting is like the correct colors, because there's a couple times in the beginning I would paint in the evening and then I come there in the morning and I'm like, this does not look like blue, this looks like gray. In the beginning I decided no, anytime that I paint it's not going to be in the evening because I like to have my cozy lighting at night. I don't like the big lights to be on, right? So that's the hardest part for sure. It's hard to find like when is the sun risen, when am I going to work? When can I find that time? That's the hardest part for me, is the lighting. So for January, I really wanted to do like a space theme. I wanted her to be massive in the middle of space, and you can see just how large she is because of her like holding out into a rocket. For February, I was thinking more so about like, oh, mushroom girl in a forest, and that was kind of the vibe there. For March, I actually toured the pyramids. Basically, those pyramids were discovered by the Aztecs. The Aztecs decided to name the pyramids, but they don't even know who built them, what their purpose is for. So I was super inspired by that because there's a lot of unknowns about that history. For April, I decided to create a giant crow that she would be walking, and so that one was really cool too. I called that one Scary Dog Privileges because it makes sense. For May, I did an up-close piece of her, and it's called Hidden Where You See Her. And then for June, I was really just playing around with how to do color theory a little bit. For July, I got really into roller skating again. I was kind of forming all of the colors cohesively. Actually, the original form and piece was from a previous art illustration that I did, and I decided to convert that into a painting. For August, I created a beautiful little stump and mushroom girl, and I called it Inner Peace. At the time, I was also watching 13 Reasons Why, which is why some whole lot of color to the piece because it was depressing. For September, I called this one Hiding Places. I'm just gonna leave this one up to you to decide what it is because I know what it is. I just want it to be left up to the viewer. So for October, I got really into pumpkins because tis the season. So I put a little mushroom girl in a pumpkin. And then for November, depending on when you see this video, if it's been released or not, I'm going to call this piece Falling in Deep. It's just falling into the water. Really love the piece. And then for December, I have something in mind. Haven't created it yet, have just a few sketches, so stay tuned. I'll be posting that shortly. I kind of want to talk about the next year. 2025, what's the goal? What are the plans there? What am I gonna do? Well, let me tell you, I have a lot planned. I'm kind of thinking about launching a subscription. I'm going to start creating, this is a sneak peek, okay? I'm gonna start creating mushroom characters, but in a card form, kind of like a Pokemon card or something. I'm gonna give them like special powers. I'm going to turn all of the traits of that actual mushroom into like a personification. So let's say the mushroom itself is like really toxic, like you can't eat it. I'm gonna say that mushroom is like a toxic individual and like you hate to be around them or something like that. There's a bunch of different mushrooms out there. I decided I wanted to do something more educational, so kind of telling you about like different kinds of mushrooms, turning them into like a fun character like I like to. So I'm going to start that new thing for 2025, so stay tuned for that. I'll have a limited time little thing for them and then I'll kind of rotate them every month. The subscription will include like the cards, like different kinds of cards, and then like different stickers based on that like type of mushroom. Thinking about obviously doing new paintings with my mushroom girls. However, I don't think that I'm going to do as strict of a schedule as I have been doing this year, just because I want to spend way more time investing in the details of the painting. I want to maybe give myself like 3 months for a painting. The reason why I set myself up to have one painting a month is because I just wanted to do it. I just wanted to set the goal, achieve it, allow myself to feel confident in it, I guess. I wanted to feel like this is something that's possible to do. I enjoy doing this, obviously. It's like a fun hobby for me. Setting a goal and setting a timeline for it has really allowed me to be excited about the next piece and kind of have things in mind and start thinking of ideas. It just kind of has set me up to create more. I'm going to be creating new paintings this next year. I just don't think that it's going to be every month. I'm going to put that time and energy into other things. The last thing that I'm definitely going to do for 2025 is I'm going to have a lot more deals and sales for y'all and bundles. I'm thinking about transitioning to like free shipping. I'm trying to compete with Amazon right now. Yeah, I would say 2024 has been a really, really great year for me. I've learned so much and I'm so proud of each of my paintings. I'm proud of myself that I have accomplished these goals that I've set in place, and thanks for joining me. If you want to stick around and see what I create next, you can follow me on my Instagram or TikTok or this YouTube channel. I post very, very frequently, and I don't think that's gonna change. As always, I'm Holly. I make mushroom art, and I'm with the brand Susrooms. Thank y'all.